So if they're actually checking into on-site or any kind of recovery program. Other is anything other. What time is it? Where's 7-Eleven? What planet is this?
Mars.
So, I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but that's pretty important stuff. Okay.
No, having fun.
Let's quickly go over how we keep track of all the stats. So I've just kind of drawn a rough version of, this is an example of a sheet that we use at the Legal Depot to keep tally of all the transactions in the day. Yeah, this is a bit of a jumble. I'm going to reformat this. I want to make it real clean and streamlined. To me, it makes perfect sense. But, so let's just do some examples, all right?
It's like filling out a Yahtzee card.
Sure. You just want to remember that you always want to count the contact. You always want to count the person. The person gets counted no matter what. And you want to count if there is any needle activity and then anything else. So most common, can I get one, and one, and one, and one? So the person wants one rig, water, cooker tie, all that stuff, or one injection. So you're going to count the first one. Under the needles, you're going to count the one needle, or the two needles, or whatever you give him. If they're loners, you're counting loners. Oops.
Maybe put the terms or exchanges.
You have to ask for the names and ID.
We don't ask for that at the needle exchange, no. There's no handles, there's no...
There used to be at, back in the
Yeah,
day,
I mean,
as you had.
I understand keeping track of, like, client activity, but personally I find it a little bit intrusive, even if it's a password or a code name. It's not necessary. Yeah. They don't,
So the loaner section is like.
okay, yeah.
Bring it
So
out and
who wants
then
to
exchange
read? Bring a read.
One.
But it's important to distinguish that because the exchanges are big time important. You always want to encourage needles coming back, right?
How does that work with the contact?
Okay, yeah. So if a guy comes in and he exchanges 20 needles, brings 20, gets 20, you count the person under the exchange.
Okay.
And then 20. I do shorthand strokes of 5. It keeps it.
Yeah.
It's easier to tally at the end of the day, basically. If everyone's writing 15, 4, 7, then it's a mess, right?
It is.
If whoever's doing the stats at the end of the day, tallying up, you're saving them a lot of time. I find rows of 5, it's just so like a tricky interaction would be like, guy comes in, drops off 100 needles, only wants a can. Oh, there should be one more category.
It'd be still exchange. Oh,
Yeah.
there's another.
There's another. There should be other and other.
Others on the bottom ring.
That's different.
Yeah.
Different other.
No, I'm not calling.
So he's exchanging 10 needles, right? 10 are going in, 10 are coming out. So you're counting him under exchange. You're counting 10 needles exchanged, and then the rest are being returned. Those other 90, those are just being returned.
Yeah.
So that would go under the returns. Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's it. 90. And then if they grab a condom, you mark a condom. If they grab a mouthpiece, you mark mouthpieces.
And if they grab 12 mouthpieces, you put down one.
No, you do write
12 people?
Yeah,
It's condoms. It's just
condoms that you only need to write one stroke. They just want to know, Postal Health wants to know how many people a day are taking condoms, not the number of condoms they're taking.
Like mouthpieces are a pretty important part.
Mouthpieces, yeah, we want to know how many mouthpieces are going.
Because you don't want to have to see all that shit flying around.
Yeah, it just
What the hell is a mouthpiece?
it just keeps track of like ordering. You want to know how many you order.
I think it's really important too for women. I know there's a lot of places that distribute. There's women who come in and they need tampons and they need pads. And sometimes we have it and sometimes we don't. It would be good if we really could try to see if we always have that available because women are normally kind of embarrassed to ask for it to begin with. And then,
Yeah, I agree.
you know what I mean?
That is one product that those should be free for everybody. Tampons and Maxi pads should be free for the public, always, anytime, in my opinion, right? They're not, we unfortunately have to pay for them. But that is something that we can find ways to pay for those. But yeah, I do feel that when we aren't able to.
Because it takes everything for a woman to muster up,
Right.
just asking. And usually when they go in, it's usually men who are working in it, and it makes it
Yeah.
really even harder for them. But yet,
That makes up for all the
You
times
know,
guys have to go to
but
the
it's just
store
one
and
of those
wine.
things that I encounter all the time, so.
Yeah, let's just do a couple more examples of transactions, okay? Yeah?
I was told that we don't have to mark cookers, true or not true?
I like to know how many. Coastal Health doesn't care. They don't ask for that stat from me, so. I like to keep track because it's interesting. And who knows where the stat might lead down the road, you know what I mean? So I like to keep as much info as I can. Okay. So someone just comes in and asks what time it is. You mark them under other. Contact, other. They didn't do any activity or anything, no returns, nothing like that. Oh, but they asked for what time it is. Referral, other. So someone comes
So
in.
you're counting the person that comes in always, like.
Always,
comes in, okay,
yeah.
Other
Person-
on contacts and then other on the, other.
Correct, yeah. The person is always going to get counted in one of the
There's
three
always gonna be
categories.
two different sections to be filled out when a person comes
Yeah.
in. Pretty much.
Yeah, basically. I mean, the only time it wouldn't be, but I would still mark it as a referral because it's fun, would just be if they came in and said hello and then left. Nothing's happened.
Right.
But I would mark it.
And there's all that other referrals.
You wanna know how many people visit the place?
Yeah, gotta know that.
Outside of funding, how are these,
That does sound like fun.
outside of funding, how is these statistics, after being analyzed, changed the way we do our job?
Well, personally, it's good to get a feel of your clients, like, and street trends and everything like that, right? Like, if you're marking them down, you're just more aware of what's happening, right? Like, it goes somewhere because you thought about it. You know what I mean?
It would be nice to see the results, because sometimes you see one alley is empty and then it gets full, and get empty and full. It'd be nice to kind of get a graphic at the end of the year to see what kind of flow we've been getting, but we never do. We just get the picture of that one day we were working.
I go to meetings where we discuss sweeps and they put all those maps up on the wall and then they go, ooh, red zone, look how many needles are in this zone.
Yeah.
And if you want, I can bring that kind of stuff in and share with you. Like,
It would be
guys find
interesting to
that
see the trends.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing how many you actually find behind the cop station
Oh.
as well.
More beautiful.
Is there any more questions about tally stuff? Like, I know it looks a little bit silly, but after you do it for 2 hours, it's you got that stuff. If you ever have any questions, please ask me, because I see my own staff once in a while make a mistake, and I'll be hovering over their shoulder, and maybe that's one. Please don't be embarrassed if you ever have a question. It's not embarrassing. Okay, let's talk about needle sweeps really quickly here. So a big part of what the Needle Depot does is we go out in the alleys and we pick up leaves that we find on the ground, and we talk to the people in the streets and in the alleys, and the people who are sheltered up in the doors, sleeping.
Make sure they're okay.
You always want to, actually Adam, I'd like you to say a few words about how you conduct yourself when you're on an alley patrol.